So, Dundee is not going to be the City of Culture for 2017. I was actually been away the last couple of days. I was been in Glasgow for a wrestling event, more than that in a couple of days. But I was in Glasgow when the result was announced. I actually found out the result due to the schedule. I was on in Glasgow on the BBC digital text that Hull had been selected for the UK City Culture 2017. Now, obviously, that it came down to a few cities, including Swansea and Dundee. My home city, city where I was born, city where I grew up, city which I still reside in. Now, I supported this bid, of course I did. I would love to have seen this UK City Culture 2017 to be Dundee. Now, I've seen a couple of cities in Scotland go for it, and sometimes even win, like Glasgow. I think it was 1989. Glasgow, Smiles Better, the whole campaign there, I remember. And although I would have loved to win it, I always just thought, unfortunately, that the bid just came too soon. Now, I know the 2017 competition was looking at what the city would be like in 2017. But unfortunately, they looked. I mean, to be honest, any competition like that, you would be silly not to look at what the cities are actually like now. So, with this, and unfortunately, I just think the bid for Dundee was just a few years too soon. They're only a couple of years into a 20-odd year plan for the regeneration of the city. A lot of building work has been going on these last few years here in Dundee. A lot of multis have been knocked down, a lot of areas have been knocked down. I put up on my YouTube channel, in fact, just a few months ago, the demolishment of the Butterburn and Bucklemaker courts in the Hilltown. Obviously, that was all covered. It was even covered. Actually, that was even covered on the BBC News and live, apparently, on Sky News. If I'd known that it was going to be on Sky News, unfortunately, I would have recorded. But as you can see, you just search through my YouTube channel for the Hilltown multis, and you'll see the footage of them being demolished. There's a lot of building work going on, and not just like some multis, but also things like schools. I actually live opposite a school, so that area has been also a lot of building work, because it used to be a school and a social work building. Both of them have been knocked down now. There's a school in one, a large primary school, one almost like 2/3 area really, and the other third supposed to be getting houses built on them. It was supposed to actually happen this summer, but I've never heard anything more about that yet. But it'll probably be in the next couple of years. So there's a lot of reshuffling around. A lot of the schools have been actually closing and putting a couple of schools together and making new buildings not too far from you. Also, there's actually a few new school buildings being constructed and now being used. Well, there's been a couple of them being used now for a couple of years, including actually knocking down one of my old school. I used to go to the school across there, and then I moved up to another school a few streets away. Both of them knocked down, and even my secondary school, Lawside Academy, has also been knocked down and replaced by the school not actually too far from me. So there's been a lot of stuff there in the urban and areas. The one thing that's definitely made me think it was far too soon is also really, to be honest, mostly really the riverside area of Dundee. And down in the riverside, they've knocked down the Hilton Hotel that was there. To be honest, the council land grabbed that. As soon as they won the new V&A Museum, and because they proposed it for that area, as soon as it won, they just went to the Hilton Group, whoever owns the Hilton Hotel Group now, and said pretty much, right, you're out of there now. And they grabbed that, and they've also torn down the old Olympia swimming pools, although they have built a new swimming area complex thing. I've never been in. I'm not really sure, but that whole area, the riverside, which is actually like literally 2 minutes walk from the right of the city centre. You can walk down there. 2 minutes later, you're up the riverside. Um, a whole area is being demolished and used for the new V&A museum. And that's going to take a couple of years to complete at least, because they're only just a couple of weeks ago knocked down the Hilton Hotel. I'm not sure whether I think we're on the process of knocking down the Olympia, old Olympia swimming baths. So it's a lot. To be honest, in my opinion, there's just far too much building work and construction stuff going on in the city of Dundee to really have successfully won the bid. Like I said, they're only a few years into what is a 20-odd year plan, to be honest, I worked out something like I'm going to be like nearly 50 when the work's actually complete. Because like I said, we're only like 3 or 4 even years even into the whole building work, and there's a whole lot of stuff that is still going to be knocked down, and land that's going to be rebuilt upon. To be honest, as a citizen of Dundee, there is quite a few areas that we don't exactly know what is going to happen to. Obviously, Dundee, a city of over 800 years of age, it's just it's also a huge area, because actually just recently, very recently, just within, I think it was last week actually, it was the 100th anniversary of an district or area of Dundee called Broughty Ferry. You may have actually heard of it. That was the setting for the Bob Servant radio, books and TV series, read by a local author, and of course starring, actually from Broughty Ferry area of Dundee, Mr. Brian Cox. It's 100 years since Broughty Ferry became officially a part of Dundee. To be honest, a few people still actually have this argument about whether Broughty Ferry is a part of Dundee. But anyway, like I said, to be honest, there's just far too much building work, stuff to go on, a lot of plans still to go ahead in Dundee that I think that probably hurt the bid a little bit, that probably damaged it a little bit, and obviously if any committee that are actually looking at a competition such as this, you look at you look at what the city plans to do, where it'll be like in 2017, but you will also of course look at where the city is now. Obviously you're going to do that. You're not going to say, oh well, we want to build, I don't know, like a 6-story museum. That'll be open in 18 months, and you maybe go there, and it's still a fully functioning shopping centre, for instance. You're going to say, you're going to look at that and say, no, you can't build that there within 18 months. All the shops are still there. You don't have to close down. You've got a lot of construction money, you've got a lot of demolition work to do. It's not going to be ready in 18 months. Just an example. I don't know whether you could do that in 18 months. You possibly could. If you had the money and you had enough people, I suppose, you could build it within 18 months. But, you look at what projects, what standards the city could achieve within that time period. So, I just thought it was too soon. Maybe a few years. Get a few years on in the plan, get some of the stuff built, get the V&A museum open, give the city a bit of a facelift, like the riverside, or some of the lived-in areas, the urban areas of Dundee. Get them some places rebuilt, because there's quite a few areas, like you said, we don't know what's going to happen. Get all that stuff done first, then go again for a bid. Wait a few years. I know, obviously, and I'm not saying anything, by the way, I do want to say, I'm not saying anything about the people who were working on the bid. I've seen quite a few comments from people, and I've heard about a few people that worked on the bid, and they're apparently really nice people. I'm not saying anything against them. because I know a lot of them seen the coverage in the on the local news, the certainly the papers, and seen the events around the city in support of the bid. They worked damn hard at it. I'm not having a go at them. I'm not saying that they didn't do this or they didn't do that. That's why we lost. We should have lost. We should have won. Yada yada. They are no. They're the reason. I'm not saying that at all. I am. Please do not get me wrong. I am not saying that. I just don't think, to be honest, personally, it was the right timing for such a bid to take place. Obviously, Lord Provost Bob Malcolm, obviously they want to push the city on. The world is at a weird stage right now. Scotland's at a weird stage right now. And of course, next year, 2014, we've got the independence referendum. There's a lot of it's kind of it's unfortunate it's a time period where Scotland and some of the places in the world they're right in the middle of things. So I just think it was the wrong time. Get a few of this stuff done. I know if you want, like I said, you want to push the city on. You want to be the ones responsible for actually pushing the city forward. You want to get obviously these great events. And we've got in Dundee a lot of support, a lot of things I could go on for ages on, but I don't have the time limit right now on YouTube. But things like the support of Lorraine Kelly, a lot of, as you've seen it on my video channels, and if you haven't watched my video, wrestling legends and Hall of Famers, a lot of huge wrestling names coming to the city of Dundee in the last few years. A lot of great events. We've got the Coca-Cola truck coming to the Overgate on the 26th, this coming Tuesday, I believe it is, and that's going to be a great event. There's a lot of great events that have been happening, a lot of great festivals, etc. happening in Dundee on a regular basis. There was a video game thing a while ago, there's a blues festival, there's arts festivals, So I'm not saying that the potential is there, I'm just saying, again, overall, this is the theme of this video, it's just the wrong timings. Things I think are almost ready, but I think wait a few years, get things like the V&A Museum, get a lot of the regeneration done in Dundee, and then, and only then, I think that Dundee would have a world-class bid to be a UK city of culture. So I think in a few years, once these things are done, a lot more regeneration is done, the V&A Museum's up and running and built, because, like I said, they're only clearing the area land for it now. Once all of that done, I think we'll be in a far, far better position. And I think then we would claim the title of UK City of Culture.